It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called Pit Stop Pressure Volume 2, and this is my summit guide. Let's go! All right, real quick before we get into it, if you're looking for any of my Motorfest tunes, you can go to militiagamingco.com, click on Motorfest Pro settings from the top, and you will see all of my pro settings along with some of the others from the community. All right, let's get into it. Starting off with the cars, let's talk about the Summit bundle first. You get the Gordon Murray T50 and the Alfa Romeo Giulia GT-AM. There are additional vehicles that I will recommend, but not too many this week. The F40 in Street 2 and the GT-AM Rivals Edition, which you get from completing the Rivals in the Made in Japan 2 playlist. I also recommend an AGP car for the Bullseye and the Slalom. For that one, you need Score Breaker with Pure and Skilled, and then a plane. The Zivco Edge works the best. You're going to want Score Breaker for your set bonus and Pure and Skilled again. And then you'll need a drag vehicle for the Speed Trap. For that one, you want Nitro Chemist as your set bonus with Pure and Frenetic. The keys to the Summit, there's two of them that really make a difference in your times. Number one is iron grip on your parts. And number two is the pit stop strategy that you take. Each of these races requires slightly different pit stop strategy. So as long as you have the correct one, I think you'll do fine. You just need to keep the car on the road, try to take the best lines you can, and then make sure your pit stop strategy is good. All right, here are the pro settings for the cars that I just mentioned. All right, before we get into this first event, you have to understand that if you don't have iron grip on your tires, on your parts, you're gonna be at a significant disadvantage. So basically, the pit stop strategy for this first race is going to be every 2 laps. So you're gonna do one after the 2nd lap and then after the 4th lap. However, if you don't have iron grip on your parts, fully maxed out, and your legend points, it's going to be very difficult to complete this with a good time. That is maybe the most significant part affix that you need besides like a Score Breaker set for a slalom. So anyways, you got to have that as your parts, and then you want to make a pit stop every 2 laps. Now for this one specifically, we're going to take a look at a couple of things that I did on this lap that actually helped me improve my time over the course of a few runs. So here we go. All right, so after this tunnel, you're going to have this little S turn. I would recommend drifting this if you can. Now that wasn't the cleanest drift. You can do it a lot faster, but that works. This is my 2nd lap without a pit stop. And then when you get to the end of this downhill section, you're going to be doing the same thing that you do on some of the other races, which is hit the tires, downshift, and then accelerate out of it. For this, you definitely want to hit the pit stop after lap 2. Like I said, the tire wear becomes a factor after 2 laps. And that's basically it for this lap. There's not a lot of tricky stuff. Outside of that, it's just making sure you're keeping as much speed as you can in these corners. And as far as NOS is concerned, you want to upshift a little bit early. So instead of staying in 4th gear until red line and then shifting, you kind of want to upshift a little bit early. Now, I did forget, this actually is a gutter turn on this particular turn as well. So anyways, that's it. Let's move on. All right, for event number 2, you're going to be using the T50 again. I think this car definitely suits this track the best, and it's the easiest to control. So that being said, I'm going to start you off on lap number 3, take you through some of the things that I did. But again, the parts are going to matter on this one. You're going to need iron grip, and you're going to need Pure as your affix, with a full set of Nitro Chemist parts would be the best. So anyways, let's get into this lap. This first part of the lap after the pit stop, obviously pit stop strategy is important. Every 2 laps again, after lap 2, after lap 4. This first turn is a hard left. You're going to want to take that gutter. Also, you're going to want to take this gutter here on the right. I did it very poorly, but I didn't do it poorly on every lap. That's why this was my best time. On this corner here, you want to stay as wide as possible. When you get to this red part here, you're going to want to turn in and hit this gutter in order to make this turn. This looks really sharp on the map. It also looks like it's a sharp right-hander on the map. But this you can take at full speed once you hit that gutter. So you hit the gutter, then NOS out of it. It's a very clean corner. This one's a 4th gear turn. Slow down. NOS out of it. You got lots of NOS. NOS management is going to be very key on this race as well. On this turn at the top of the hill, you're going to want to gutter it as well. Again, not my best gutter, but it is what it is. I'm not like the most skilled player. All right, going through the tunnel, nothing tricky here. This is where you want to use your NOS. When you're going up the hill, don't worry about it too much. Use it when you get here. When you shift into 5th, use a little bit of it, then shift into 6th right away. Look at this. Look how fast I shift into 6th. So 4th gear, 5th. I didn't even let it finish. I just hit a little NOS, shift to 6th, and then blasted the NOS to get the car to a decent speed. This corner here is very tricky. It looks sharper than it is, but you can take it basically full speed. The car will handle it. This final couple of turns, this is a gutter turn, which again did poorly on this lap. I don't know why I showed you this lap. Stay wide for this one, cut back in. Then blast your NOS. Again, shifted into 6th early to blast the NOS. I got up to about 280 on this one. That's where you want to be. And then you're back at the start here. Gutter turn here, gutter turn there, rinse and repeat this lap. All right, on the next event, you're going to be using the T50 again. And the pit stop strategy for this one is after the 3rd lap, take a pit stop. The 3rd lap is going to be a little bit sketch because you do get pretty low on the tire wear, but it's important on this one as well to have iron grip on your parts. This one actually is probably the most important one, to have iron grip on your parts. So you got to try to get that along with Nitrochemist. That being said, pit stop after the 3rd lap, only a 1 pit stop race. You don't need to do it multiple times. Now, that being said, let's take a look at the different places in this course where this is basically the same course you're going to race throughout the entire summit. But yeah, so let's take a look. So on this first corner of the lap, it's a gutter turn here. And then another gutter right here. And I kind of did this one crappy, but yeah, I want to take both of those gutters. On the turn that follows those, you're going to have another gutter turn here. Stay tight to the wall because you need to make a left. Try not to hit that wall, obviously. Upshift to 6th early and blast the NOS. A lot of braking here. Try to hit this gutter. I went a little bit too fast into that. I braked a little bit too late, but I was really trying to push it on this lap. On this uphill section, it's important to, conserve your NOS until you get to at the very least 5th gear. You want to just use spurts until you get to 5th, and then you can blast and shoot to 6th. That'll help you with a lot of speed as you get to the top of this hill. Now there's 2 S sections here coming up at the top of the hill. You can take these at full speed, like literally full speed. Even with cars in my way, I was able to get around them and take it at full speed. This is heavy braking into 4th or 5th gear, and you can take this gutter here. Stay left, cut back in, and then make this turn, the final turn here. You're going to rinse and repeat that basically, and make sure you pit stop after that 3rd lap. Remember, that 3rd lap is going to be the most sketchy, so you be careful on the 3rd lap so you don't spin out or, drift a corner that you didn't mean to. Then you pit stop when you get here on the 3rd lap. That should help you out. All right, the next event is called Street Touring, and for this one, I do recommend using the F40. It's very easy to control. It gutters really, really well, and there's a few gutters on this course, but the most important thing, again, on this is making sure you have the correct pit stop strategy. For this one, you're going to pit every single lap. The laps are long enough to where your tire wear goes pretty much to half on every single lap, and trying to navigate these cars with less than that on the grip is just almost impossible. You have to pit every single lap. All right, so let's get into it. There's not a whole lot of things regarding the lap that I want to tell you, but I will show you a couple of different things that I did. So on this turn right here, I definitely used the gutter, and I used the gutter on the next turn as well. So these 2 turns back to back, I'm using the gutter. Now, it's not the prettiest. It does the job. The better you can do that, the faster it's going to be. On this turn here, I'm drifting it, and then I'm gripping this one. Then you're going to use the gutter on this turn as well. Again, not the prettiest gutter, but it is what it is. Finally, on this turn, you're running into the tires, downshifting, and then making your turn. It's just a little bit faster. Again, pit stop every single lap. Just go ahead and rinse and repeat that. Hopefully that helps you. All right, the next event is called GTA Marathon. It's supposed to be GTA Marathon, but they put a dash in it for some reason. Anyways, Let's talk about this. The pit stop strategy for this one is every single lap. Again, these laps are too long to not pit stop every single time, so I strongly recommend that. It helped me improve my time a lot. Let's go through a couple of things in this lap. This turn is the same as before. You want to take this gutter. Obviously, that was terrible, but it is what it is. Make sure you're guttering there. This turn is also the same before. You hit the tires, downshift a few times, and then get yourself back up to speed. Now, there's no pit stop here on this one because it's on a different part of the track. On this turn coming up here, I'm drifting. This might not be the fastest way, I'll be honest with you, but it helped me improve my times. Then you're going to gutter here. That's a very terrible, very slow gutter, but you're going to need to gutter, and you're going to need to gutter here. And that's the end of the lap there. So you're going to need to pit stop on every single lap. Well, that's basically it. All right, the next event is called Alpha Grand Prix, and this one is using the Giulia GTAM. Now, this one, there's not a whole lot of tricky things on this lap, and it's a very, very short lap. So the pit stop strategy is a little bit different on this one. You're not going to be doing it every single lap. You're actually going to go 2 laps, then pit stop right before you start your 3rd lap. The alternative to that is pit stopping after the 1st lap, but I just don't feel like that's the best strategy because then you can't fly on your last lap. So 2 laps, pit stop for that 3rd lap, then just go all out for that one. All right, let me fast forward to some of the things that are important on this lap. All right, coming out of this tunnel, you're going to want to catch this gutter here on this turn. Try to do it faster than I just did. It's tough. I'm not that good. And then that's pretty much it. You want to make sure you save your NOS on this turn to make sure you have NOS for this final straight, especially on the 1st lap. Make sure you have enough NOS to get yourself to a decent speed on this straight. To be honest with you, I probably could have waited a little bit longer and gotten a little bit faster. On lap number 2, you're going to try to gutter that. I failed horribly. Obviously, there's a lot I can optimize on this. But that's pretty much it. When you get back around to the finish, just make sure you pit stop before lap 3, and you should be good to go. All right, I'll let the feeds play out in their entirety. Enjoy these, and I'll be back with the final scores. All right, here are my final scores. Remember, you can DM me with any questions you might have. I answer every single message that comes my way. You can send me a DM on Discord or Instagram, but I look at both. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.